Actually, let's start off in the bottom left corner. We have a red Terran player. Hailing from the Netherlands. His name, uThermal. Finishing off that TVT we saw previously quite handedly. And his opponent, let me double check this actually, SortOf is from Sweden. Yes, he is. Alright. Just had to double check. Get all my things in order again on my second screen. There we go. Alright. Hailing from Sweden. The blue Zerg. SortOf. In the top right corner here of the map. Bounty, I do many things, alright? I do many things. I'm not just a graphic designer. I don't know all the fonts out of the top of my head. You might want to make the WCS a bit smaller and put it in the top right corner of the screen. Alright. If that's what you want, Bounty. There you go. I am a slave to my own chat, guys. Whatever you want, I will make sure to do. And right from the get-go, it looks like we will have a normal macro opening from both these players so far. And there is a expansion coming down here as well from uThermal. Still sending the SCV out to scout as well, so you know what, that SCV is going to be in time if he does, if SortOf does wants to go for a very quick third. It looks like he might want to try to do some, actually no, changing his mind there. Thought he was going to place down a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren very early on, but it doesn't seem to happen. Maybe change his mind there a little bit. uThermal actually sacking the SCV here for a big scout. SortOf luckily not going for that, for that anything building he might have wanted to put there. Get good at Starcraft 2 and just carry us. Well, it's gonna be difficult. That's gonna be more difficult to do right now, Bounty. I would need a little bit more time. Actually, oh, what's this? A very early on Ghost Academy. I did enable the sound, alright. Very early on Ghost Academy. That's a very cool build. Also going for the reactored out Hellions as well. Going for Ghost Hellions. That's very interesting. That's something actually I was joking about in team games not that long ago about. That's something I want to do. uThermal here, making it happen, making the plays, and I am gonna actually keep an eye out on how this build exactly goes, so he does get his second gas quite quickly. These links, they do not see whether or not there is a starport here as well. No, maybe they did. Normally you would put it up there or on the bottoms just so the flying would be a little bit shorter. But you can't be exactly sure, and there's not an overlord anywhere nearby either to really check this, right? He doesn't have a clue about what is going on here. uThermal checking the third base. So already he does kind of know a lot better of the state of the game for his opponents, as than opposed to SortOf right here, right now. Does lose that Reaper, unfortunately, but you know what, it's not the worst case scenario. This Overlord will be scouted out, or scouting the Ghost. SortOf must be scratching his head here a little bit right now. Probably confused ever so slightly. Couple of queens poking around. Making sure those Hellions do not get into the base anywhere whatsoever. Baneling Nest on the way as well. Did he actually already start lay attack? No, he did not. So still playing a very low econ game. Making a lot of Zerglings as well. But also going for the Spine Crawlers. So I'm not... Okay, he's still making drones as well. So it's not some sort of Baneling Zergling all in. But Zerglings do very well against Ghost though. The Ghost are going to be very great against the queens. uThermal never actually made his third base, so he does definitely want to do some sort of damage here. The Hellions need to keep these ghosts safe, but there's a full surround already with the Lings, and uThermal in a lot of trouble actually. And he clean this up still. There's so many Zerglings still spilling in. Those ghosts did get scouted out a little bit too early, and the Zerglings, they were plenty in number there. Those slow zones, if only they did not exist. Darn you, slow zones! uThermal now putting down his third base. But still, going for that cloak after this. Who knows, maybe he will still be able to do some sort of damage later on in this game, but it's not the best situation at this time for him. Also, his starport is so delayed. That is a lot of trouble for getting those ghosts out quickly. I don't even think he really got a lot of snipes off, or actually got to use the energy of those ghosts. It's very unfortunate. Maybe moving down that ramp, it did give him less surface area. Moving in between those, let me see, in between these minerals. Or up against that wall actually. But ultimately, maybe he would have been better off staying on that high ground and trying to snipe down some queens as well. And do some more significant damage that way than just killing a couple of links with the Hellions. It's difficult to say. Getting 2 drones there. Not too shabby. Fully sticking onto the Hellion actually. He has not transitioned out of this yet. Also still producing the Ghost. uThermal playing around here a little bit. Denying some creep. Now flying in with 4 Ghost medevac drop. You don't see that every day. That is something interesting happening here. Also making the 2 armories so fully committed into a mech-based army after this. Ghost just being dropped here, trying to slide down the queens, making room for these Hellions to go in here. And the Hellions are going to be great against these Banelings. Does not have any armory completed yet, so he does have to stick to the Hellions instead of making them into Hellbats. Good snipes going off. Needs to split against these Banelings though. Still staying alive, still doing damage here. Sort of kinda trying to scramble up some sort of a force. Trying to get more Zerglings in here. He does have a... Yeah, no, he should be seeing these. No, he doesn't actually. He's still making one. So no cloak detection. The 3 Ghosts did get spotted here. Ooh, needs to get that medevac away. That's very close to dying there. Unfortunately, bo3 not as much of a Time Lord as he wanted to be right there. Hellbats were not part of that engagement. He is getting the blue flame, also the cyclone upgrade, so he's going full into battle mech at this time. Did get his economy up and rolling on the 3rd base, trying to ensure the wall off is complete here and getting his 4th base as well. Let me take a look. At the same time we see a couple of Zerglings trying to sneak around, check whether or not there is a base hidden there. Maybe over here in this 4th base location later on. Do they get spotted actually? They do get spotted. uThermal should be able to see them, and also of course the Zerglings will be able to see that medevac. Let's see if there's any reactionary play from either side though. And alright, uThermal is moving up here right now to kill these Zerglings, so very well done. Did see them on the minimap. This Hellbat drop. Hellbat drops with blue flame, that could do a lot of damage if SortOf doesn't pull his works out in time. And ooh, that's already good shots. Good shots. Oh my god, don't attack that with your drones, buddy. Only 5 workers going down though, that's alright. But that's alright. Well, he did lose the medevac as well. That's a bit rough. Is it just me, or is this game getting a little laggy? I certainly hope not. I certainly hope that is not my fault. At least. Big push here coming in from SortOf. He never really went for any further attack. This is a huge, or kind of... He is making one more drone. Making just Zerglings behind this though right now. He needs to do damage with this. There's a lot of Banelings. I'm not sure if uThermal has near enough units. He needs to snipe down those Banelings. With his orbital command up in the air, it's going to be difficult to focus those down. Beautiful split though. but still, so many roaches being able to deal with all these hellbats right here. Not enough cyclones to really counter those roaches. The 6 tanks being sieged up onto the main ramp. Oh, the baneling's gonna get good connections here on these SCVs. And oh my god, I think this might just be a book, guys. This might just be it for uThermal here. GG. GG. This is hello HJP Alpha. This is still a 0-0. Nothing too much going on yet. uThermal lost his first match against SortOf right now. uThermal, thank you very much, buddy. Inviting me straight away. I very much appreciate it. Us Dutch people have to stick together with our weird English accents. Let's take a look. SortOf versus uThermal once more. Second game. It's going to be on Cyber Forest. Having a little bit of a discussion here. Who, Bunty, who would, oh wait, sorry, I can't read anymore. Would Showtime / Nerd Show be stronger or Hearthstone / Snoot? Showtime Nerd Show, since Smite isn't full-time and Showtime is better than Hearthstone. Yeah, I can't disagree with that one. Okay, second game coming up right here. Quickly take a sip of water. Alright. There we go. First game. Going to this blue Zerg in the top left corner. The Swedish. SortOf. Hypnotizing you all with beautiful camera movement there. As it should be. This is the WCS after all. In the bottom right corner. Trying to go for a little bit of an unorthodox play right there. Going for the quick ghost and the hellbats right there. Fortunately, it didn't really work out for him. The red Terran player, uThermal. Once again, nothing too crazy going on in this match. We'll just have to wait and see what is happening right here. I hope you guys are all enjoying this match. I haven't heard anyone complain about the music or the sounds so far anymore after the previous change. So I'm assuming everything is alright now. Yeah, CVT is a great matchup, isn't it, Dragon Soul? Oh my god, it's probably one of the favorites for most people in watching Starcraft 2, right? TVZ, it's like the classic humans versus the evil aliens in a sense, right? It always does great for itself. And then already we got SortOf versus uThermal, so that's quite a high class game right here. Two of EU's finest. Battling versus one another. This drone getting to go to the third base. The SCV was not interested in trying to block that. Unfortunately, I don't think he even would have been able to block that, honestly. This Marine interested in hunting down some overlords. That's quite a nice way, actually. I'm not sure if he will get it in time. Really? Will he? Willy? No, he won't. But it's already low, so as soon as he wants to, uThermal will be able to just fly a building over there and hopefully snipe it down. Or maybe he will have to wait until his overlord is there, but it's going to be difficult to really scout into the main base of uThermal with that overlord. Maybe that is an indicator, though, that uThermal is trying to do something sneaky here. He did not go for the Reaper, so he wasn't as interested in scouting his opponent. He did send his SCV, I suppose, and didn't really see too much strange going on there. But overall, I'm curious to see what his plan is from right here on. Oh, the Overlord actually sneaking around right now. SortOf maybe having the same inclination. Feeling like things are a little bit out of place. Already putting that Overlord in a quicker position. Trying to get out early on scouts. Lucky for him, all the tech is right there available for him to see. He just needs to poke a little bit more forwards. There's still marine production here as well going on. Singular marine production out of this barracks. Making me believe uThermal is definitely trying to ensure that his base is not scouted too much by overlords here. 2 Hellions running across the map. Might be able to get these 2 drones, unless if the drones do get, of course, turned into buildings. Speed almost done. There's only 6 circlings out, so that's not going to be too dangerous yet for these Hellions. These Hellions still perfectly fine being on that side of the map. Trying to find an opening. These Queens are doing marvelous play. Back and forth, not letting the Hellions in. I would have to drive around a long way across this area over here. Maybe that was too quick, I don't know. Quick camera movement there. To really get around those Queens. But even then, the Queens are already on creep there, of course, so it's not going to do too much. That circling actually scouting the Liberator flying by. So, SortOf should be able to get himself into a good position. Also with the Overlord here, he's going to be able to see that Liberator come in quite early on. Let us see, actually moving all the way on top of this, the edge of the map, so it's very difficult to see him there. Spore Crawler only now being created. This Queen is in position now. Just forcing a little bit of delayed mining time, and I'm curious to see whether or not there is only 1 Queen here. Are more Queens gonna get pulled? And then it's gonna be a great time for this push of uThermal. There they are, the Hellbats coming in. Again, no third base from uThermal. Still wants to do a lot of damage in the start. Baneling's already ready here though. There's only 4 of them. You can see good splits, and they are very good splits actually by uThermal. Gets on top of these Queens. Wants to barbecue as many Queens as he can. But more Banelings do come in from the north. You know, these Hellbats are so low already. He did get a couple of Queens, but that's not really the damage he was looking for, in my opinion. I could be wrong on that, but I don't know if that was completely worth putting down his third CC behind this. And once more, we see a little bit of failed aggression right there from uThermal. So, very unfortunate. Being quite far behind in the worker supply now as well. SortOf might just be able to pull this one through. And that would be horrible. He is already on match point, so if uThermal loses this one as well, SortOf will take this match. As my first time being the WCS community caster, I'm not sure what that means for uThermal, but at least we know that it's not a positive most of the time, losing in the esports world. As much as I want him to win. Come on, Liberator. Do your job. Alright, moves away. I'm not biased at all, guys. I'm not biased at all. Just so you know. Oh, this is interesting. Alright. Setting this up, just ensuring that there's not a 4th base going to be taken really quickly. Making sure that SortOf will have to deal with either that Liberator or these Hellbats over here before he gets to do anything. So, well played there. Gets the drone. SortOf will have to send a new drone right there. So, reasonable delay. uThermal now having secured his 3rd. Still has to make it an orbital though. He's still in quite a rough spot, I'd say. uThermal is. It's not an unwinnable situation. You know what? He is getting his tanks. Tanks are being produced. He's not sticking on the Hellbats as long this time. So already, if there is some sort of all-in coming in, he's going to be a little bit more secure at home with these siege tanks sieged up. Hydras being created by SortOf though. Hydras aren't the best either against the siege tanks though. So as long as the siege tanks are in good positions, I feel like uThermal would be able to hold off any sort of aggression. I'm kind of curious to see whether or not we will have a timing attack as soon as that +1/+1 is ready. There are a lot of banelings being created. There's a lot of hydralisks being created and zerglings. I don't see any more drones on that production line. Taking down the rocks as well, trying to get as much flow as he can in this matchup. uThermal though, oh, look at those magnificent balls of steel here. uThermal moving forward. That's a lot of banelings. He sees the baneling amount. He would have to focus fire those banelings perfectly with the siege tanks if he even wants to have a slight chance of surviving here. And smartly moves out, trying to back up. This is smart, moving even further back before he retreats even further. More reinforcements coming in though, so he might try to go in again as soon as those two forces group up, and we do see more drones being created. So scratch what I said about SortOf earlier on. He's just playing it safe, making sure he will not die to some sort of aggression. Obviously, he's played against uThermal more often, so he might know a little bit more about uThermal's play exactly than what I can tell you. Already prepping, thinking and realizing that most likely there is going to be aggression, because uThermal, obviously, with these marine siege tanks pushes that he loves, he is quite an aggressive player after all. Zerglings getting in a flanking position, might want to try to do a counter-attack here. Some marines clearing out creep as well at the same time. One SCV checking to see whether or not anything is moving through the middle of the map. Picks this up, managing to... Alright, that was a cancel there. Didn't get the complete deny, but still a cancel, rather good. These marines are in a great position to hold those zerglings. But the zerglings are still in a really good position as well to flank around. Alright, those marines do drive them away. uThermal was afraid there a little bit for being surrounded. I can't blame him, sort of. Having links everywhere, moving around on the map constantly. Reclaiming his 5th base right here. uThermal, I don't see any 4th base anywhere. He really wants to finish it off with this final push. Can he do it though? SortOf is trying to transition here a little bit, trying to get that hive tech and also the spire. So there is uThermal really on the clock, needs to do lethal damage in some sort of the in the sense, moving around with these zerglings as well, pulling the SCVs away. Things are getting more and more hairy here for uThermal. This push though, this is the one final hope for uThermal. Can he get a good enough engagement that he can still win this fight, win this game? Oh, it's gonna be close. There's so many banelings. He is in creep as well, and the marines need to split. Siege tank still behind this. Pretty decent. Oh my god, those are really good connections actually with the banelings. The 3rd base got lifted up there. Alright, did not get destroyed so far. But this is not enough damage yet anywhere near for uThermal. He has a very large army. As long as he can keep the pressure up here, deny these banelings from moving, that would be very big. Oh my god, more banelings though coming in from the south. uThermal needs to drop these marines out of his medevac. He needs all the units he has right here. But it's not enough. GG called by uThermal. Unfortunately, no.